Let's go, girls.
Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe.
I guess I did that instinctively.
It's Women Talking Football. WTF for short. Of course, never, ever, ever to be confused with
WFT.
Thank you. We are the women, a pair of producers running the ship here on Women Talking Football. My name is Mallory Hartley. I'm the associate producer here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Once again, sitting here in the hostess's chair and sitting over there turning on all the mics because we're not quite sure which ones turn these on.
I wondered if that's what you were laughing at.
But she turned them all on, so that's why you can hear me. That's why you can hear her. She's the executive producer. It's AP!
Yo.
It's Miss Ashley Pickle. Hey, girl. What's going on?
Hey, girl. No, that was crusty. I shouldn't do that. That's not me. I can't even fake that. I tried to fake it, and it did not work. Sup. That's
Hey, y'all.
Howdy. And there it is.
There it is. That's you.
Yeah, so if you missed it, earlier today we did a live commitment in studio, and we were not the ones to put the studio back together. The guys did a really good job. Really good job. What?
No. This studio looks like this because I was the reason this looks like.
Oh.
Thank you to Carter and Powers because they did put the table back together.
Okay, they put the table and they took the backdrop down, which is
yes, they
just
did. Okay, yeah, they
beating.
did. They did take that. All right, I'll give them a little bit of credit, but I cleaned it up just a little bit, just a little. But they did the big stuff.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate.
I thought they
that.
set it up, and so that's why I was like, I have no idea if they put the microphones back, and I didn't want you to start and it very much not be the right microphone. So I was like, you know what, we're just gonna turn them all on.
I do that all the time, like on ROF and stuff. I'm like, you know what, better safe than sorry. So I'll turn them all off. We are an internet show. We're here mostly every Thursday at 2 p.m. talking football around the Lone Star State. You want to hear a fun fact before we get into the meat of the show?
It's Fun Fact Thursday.
Yeah, we're going to start something new here. Whoever is hosting, or I guess whoever has a fun fact, either one of us.
Oh, correct. I'm going to start making a bank of fun facts.
Yeah, just like a running list of them, you know. But I thought this would be kind of fun to do. You know, like TFT's got their own bit. They do birthdays at the beginning of each episode. Thanksgiving. Yeah, I feel like a fun fact you do have a lot of bits. I feel like we could make some more bits, and this is going to be one of them.
Okay.
So I searched.
I need a fun fact buzzer.
Correct.
Fun facts.
Yeah. No, we need a little.
And welcome into today's fun fact.
But I looked up just fun fact of the day, and the first website that I pulled up was 101 fun facts. That's a lot of fun facts.
Yeah.
So I'm scrolling through them. There's a couple about presidents, past presidents and stuff like that. I get to number 10. And this one just seems really fitting for me, especially.
And to be fair, I have no idea what she's about to say next.
Do you know when the first college football game was played and who the two opponents were?
Oh, God. Army, Navy?
Incorrect.
That seems like a good guess.
That is a very good guess.
Let me go back and say
very good guess.
That was the safest guess that I possibly could have had.
That was a very good guess.
Was it Dartmouth?
No, but you're on the right track.
Okay, Michigan. It can't be Michigan State. No. There's no way. Dartmouth. So, okay, if I'm on the right track, then it's a Ivy League.
It's an Ivy League.
Princeton?
Correct.
Okay, Princeton. Is it against another Ivy League?
No.
What section of the U.S. are we talking about here? The Pilgrimage. Was it one of the 13 colonies? Northeast. So Princeton. Oh, God. What's a really old...
I'm actually sitting
No, I have no idea. Oxford's in England.
Near the logo of the other team that played in the very first college football game ever.
Near the logo? Oh, Rutgers!
Rutgers,
How did I not get that?
The
first one. All right.
Yeah, the first college football game was played on November 6th, 1869. Nice. Between Rutgers and Princeton, then known as the College of New Jersey in New Brunswick?
Yeah, New Brunswick.
Rutgers won. And may I say...
The first winner.
Go Rutgers to that.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm glad I got Princeton. I thought about it, and I was like, okay, the safe bet is
Had to be
Army
an Ivy
Navy
League.
just
Yeah.
for the sole fact of, I don't know, history.
Yes.
I'm sure that there were plenty of football-esque games
Mm-hmm.
played, but they weren't actual collegiate
Yes.
terms at that point.
Right.
But I
Good
was
guess,
like,
though.
it's got to
Really good
be
guess.
somewhere up there, and it's got to be an Ivy League
Yeah.
because those are, I mean, some of the oldest universities that you could possibly find. So I'm
Yeah.
going to take the dub on Princeton.
Yeah, you did. You did
I
really
am
well on that. Good job.
incredibly upset that I did not
I said
get
I'm sitting close.
Rutgers. Yeah.
You should have thought too. Like this was relevant to me.
Yeah.
Sitting close to the.
I just thought
logo.
you meant college football because you're like a college football
Oh, right,
fiend.
right,
so that
right.
that checked off the box, and then I like
It checked off a bunch
completely
of
like
boxes.
shoved you out of my brain for a second to try
So
and
there
think
you
about
go.
old colleges.
If you didn't know when the first college football game was
That's
ever
pretty
played
cool.
and who the teams were, you do now. You can go spread that fact to all your friends.
Yeah.
On today's show, it's episode 41. 41. Ugh,
41.
Women
Well,
talking
technically.
football. Women talking football. We are continuing to look at the Texas high school football record books, and this week we are going to look at win streaks, the teams that have had a significant amount of success all in a row. District games, regular season win streaks, and also all-time win streaks. Super interesting on what we found there. Then in the back half of the show, we have a ton of baseball playoff, regional finals, playoffs, whatever, on Texan Live this week.
The
Ton of
last
them.
round before state.
The last round before state.
We've got a
Some
lot
pe-
of
some
tickets
people call
to
them-
state to punch.
Yeah, some people call them regional finals, some people call them regional playoffs, but a lot of tickets to be punched here this weekend on Texan Live, so we'll make sure to get you guys caught up on which series you guys can watch this weekend while you're maybe at the pool, because it's supposed to be a nice weekend.
Yeah, you can pull up Texan Live on your phone, so
You can do that.
go get to the lake, go pull up some baseball, and
There'll also be a QR code that you can scan on the graphic that we throw up if you would like to become a newbie subscriber.
correct.
All right, Pickle. Like I said, last week we looked at receiving yards, I believe, from the Texas high school football record books. And this week we're going to take a look at the teams that have had the longest win streaks in district games, regular season win streaks, and then also we're going to finish out with the longest all-time win streaks. So starting off, let's look at district. These teams have the longest district win streaks out of, I guess, the history of Texas high school football. Starting off strong with Aledo from 2007 to currently 2022. That win streak is still going at 111 straight district games. That's freaking insane, man. To win 111 straight district games is incredibly impressive. And not to mention, Aledo's in a pretty dang good district. I mean, they have to meet Burleson Centennial pretty much every year, and they've been a really big
Denton Ryan.
contender in that district. So those asterisks right there mean that win streak is obviously still continuing.
Yeah, and that was the talk of the town this past season when, if you remember, Aledo went and dropped their first 2 games of the season.
That's right.
If you go back even further than that, not only district win streaks, but their win streak total, they had not lost 2 back-to-back games since, I believe, 87 or
That's
89.
nuts.
And so when that became on the line, then we started looking at district win streaks just because of the significance of how many years ahead they are of every, like you see number 2 obviously already up on the screen. How far that gap is was the thing of we're
Nuts.
going like, this is a massive streak,
Right.
not just like, oh, they're kind of in the mix in that like 72 range, which is still crazy, but
Right.
111.
Right. Yeah, Coach Wood and Coach Buck over there definitely combined to help that win streak, and hopefully Aledo offensive coordinator that was promoted to head coach, Robbie Jones, can continue on with that win streak. Up next on the list, Katy from 2009 to 2020. 75 straight district wins. That was, of course, ended in 2020 by Katy Tompkins with a 24-19 win. Up next, Allen, 2010 to 2021. I actually remember this happening because I was here.
Yep.
We made a big deal
First
about it.
time that they ever lost in Eagle Stadium, too.
Yeah. They lost to Prosper High School 28 to 23, but 72 straight district wins for Allen. Houston Lamar 2009 to 2020. They racked up 72 straight district wins. Austin Westlake up on the list. 1990 to 2002, they had 71 straight district wins. And then Newton's still going strong. From 2011 to 2022, they currently sit at 67 straight district wins. And Drew Johnston over there actually took over after his father in 2019. So this is like a family strong school who has been able to continue this, I guess, father-son tradition kind of thing of winning.
Yeah, especially with everything that Newton went through with obviously the passing of Coach with his battle to cancer and all of that. That was even more impressive for there to be a seamless transition there that is still to this day continuing.
Yeah. So this win streak obviously probably means much more to Coach Johnston than most people probably know. West Orange Stark up on the list, 2009 to 2021. They were able to win 62 straight district games. And finally on the list, the Albany, is it Tigers?
Lions.
Lions.
Yep.
Albany Tigers sounds right. But
right.
Lions does.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's got a mane on it.
Yes. 2008 to 2019, 62 straight district wins. And again, looking at this list, it's incredible to see from 2 down to 8 how close they are. And then you just got that massive outlier in Aledo with 111 straight district wins. I mean,
yeah, that's just
the coaching over there is just insane.
Like you said, I mean, and their district is not like specifically this year, obviously, and then what will end up being next year because it was a realignment year and all that stuff. But when I will never forget when we were sitting here and we saw that Denton Ryan and Aledo, Aledo was moving up, and it was like, oh my gosh, the matchup that we were finally looking for. And then obviously Denton Ryan having a down year this year, it was Burleson Centennial that broke through, and we were like, oh my goodness, and they went out there and they shut up every single critic, including all of us, of this is the year, this is the time, it finally goes down. Burleson Centennial runs this crazy offense, and then it was like, hi, we're still Aledo.
Right, exactly. Don't you ever forget that.
Yeah, don't count against the streak.
No. Let's move on to regular season consecutive wins. Now, obviously, this does not include the playoffs, but this includes pretty much a 12-game season. So Allen sits atop the list from 2012 to 2021. They were able to rattle off 84 straight regular season wins, which is extremely impressive. That was ended also in 2021 by Humble Atascocita. I remember that game too. Yes. That was a fun game to watch.
10 games, just to put that
10, not
10 to go back, because
there's
11
12,
there's 11
11
weeks of the regular season, so -1 typically would be 10.
Was close. Next on the list, North Shore,
which makes it even more impressive.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I wanted to say it, because honestly, the 10 wins a year with that whole gap of reloading, redoing, that makes it even more impressive than having a really good team for 1 year and gathering 12 wins.
Right. I was thinking of the college football season.
Yep. I was like,
12.
hey, dial it back a week.
I gotta switch
11 and then 6.
Here. North Shore, 2001 to 2008, they were able to rack up 78 regular season wins in a row. South Lake Carroll, 1986 to 1994, with 72 straight regular season wins. Austin Westlake from 1991 to 1998 with 67 straight regular season wins. Refugio, next up on this list, 2006 to 2013 with 63 straight regular season wins. Carthage is still huffing and puffing away, which should not be surprising to anybody. From 2016 to 2022, and they're still going. They have been able to accumulate 61 straight regular season wins. And that number is going to keep climbing. I mean,
Carthage is not losing in gym.
They're not.
They're not. Scott Surratt's going to absolutely blow up my spot if this ends up coming back to bite him in the butt. But I feel like I can confidently say that they're not losing a regular season game.
No.
It's shocking enough when they lose a playoff game.
Right.
It's shocking if they lose it hasn't happened. They've never lost
a state title.
It's shocking
if they win the game and it was close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still shocking.
That's
that
why
way.
when they got beat by China Spring, not this past year, obviously being
yes.
state champions, but in 2021, it was, earth-shattering when China Spring beat them in a playoff game.
I remember seeing the Slack and everybody was like blowing up about it.
Yeah, Tepper was on the call for
just,
that game.
That's right. That's why.
Yeah, it was regional final weekend, I believe. Regional semifinal weekend, because it would have been over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess because China Spring was 4 Division 2 at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we could go off on a whole nother tangent about. I still think that's one of China Springs' race to the state championship that year, going through Carthage, Gilmer, Pleasant Grove.
Unbelievable.
I think it was
remember
Pleasant
that.
Grove. That has to go down in the history books as like one of the most gruesome playoff runs to a state championship.
Right. That's why their quarterback was Mr. Texas football.
Correct.
Moving on down, Argyle 2015 to 2021.
Yeah, they lost. They got shut out by Melissa.
Mm-hmm. I remember that game too.
Yeah, that one was more crazy solely for the fact that they got shut out by. You were there.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there
I
because
got that video
of them tiptoeing down the sideline.
Yes, I can't believe I was there for our good friends at North Texas Honda Dealers.
Then you ended up staying for the entire game because you only had to be there for half of it, and you were like,
I knew the implications of this
not.
game. It was the regular season win streak on the line, and everybody was like, it could happen tonight.
Yep. And then they go out there and go over.
Yes, man. Yeah, that was a fun game to
Todd
be at.
Rogers was not a happy camper after that one.
No, he was not. He was not. But that was a fun game to be at. And to cap off the list, with Denton Ryan from 2015 to 2021, they were able to accumulate 60 straight regular season wins. That one ended by Denton Geyer. Was I at that? I actually might have been at that game,
I think you were at that one, too.
Because I remember tweeting about that. And I think I stayed for that game as well. Because I was there, of course, with, I think, like North Texas Honda Dealers.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was definitely there for that one as well. Look at me.
Yeah. I vividly remember that one. Sarah Merrifield was there for us at...
That's right. I said hi to Sarah.
At Bally, because I was keeping up with her reports on Twitter all night, trying to figure out what was happening. Because I was out at some... I think I asked them to let me go to like this banger of a 2A game that week. And so internet is sparse out, and I think it might have been Munster Windthorst. And so the only thing I could get to pop up was Twitter for whatever reason, and so I was keeping up with it on there.
That's right.
I couldn't get Slack to work to save my life.
Nah, Slack doesn't work out there.
No.
You just gotta
Slack
find
doesn't work in the middle of the
to...
city sometimes on a Friday night.
It doesn't. You gotta find another way to get your info because it ain't working. All right, so there you go. Regular season wins. Let's move on to the big daddy of them all. All-time consecutive win streaks. This one is super, super interesting. Starting off the list with 68 consecutive wins in a row. I just repeated myself kind of, but that's how important this is. Salina from 1998, was when I was born, to 2002, 68 straight wins. And of course, the famous G.A. Moore was the head coach there at that time. That is a really stinking impressive to go. Now that right there is probably a good 7 seasons without losing, right? Because if you're dividing, because if you've got 10 games in a season.
Well, it would have been like 16
actually
at that
6,
point.
Yeah, 6 seasons. But that is insane.
Yeah, I mean, that right there is the exact reason why when you're talking about coaches that are, I mean, there's a lot to be said about the players, don't get me wrong, but when you're talking about coaching and you want to talk about the greatest Texas high school football coaches of all time, which we've had that conversation many times on this program, that's why G.A. Moore is up there. It is that run right there that put him into that upper echelon of the people that you talk to, like Gordon Wood, G.A. Moore, Scott Surratt is quickly approaching that. So that is the reason that G.A. Moore is in that conversation.
Yeah, 4 seasons to rattle off 68 straight wins. I mean, that's insane. Yeah, obviously you're throwing like playoff games in there too. I had a dumb moment. You're throwing in playoff games there. Obviously, like that's the season is right there. Allen, up next on the list, 2012 to 2015 with 57 straight wins. Austin Westlake, 2019 to 2022.
That was the Kyler Murray years, by the way, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, makes much sense. Austin Westlake, 2019 to 2022 with 54.
Watched all of that happen.
Yes, that was ended this past season, against North Shore, right? It was in the semifinal game.
Yep.
Yeah, it was against North Shore in the semifinal game.
They Didn't they lose a regular? Am I crazy? Let me go back and look. I thought they lost
2019 to 2022. I'm pretty sure
it was definitely last season. I know that, but I swore they lost 2 games this season. Maybe I'm doing my guy Tony Salazar dirty here.
think so. But I could be wrong. Braymond is next up on the list, 2014 to 2017 with 49
no, it was
straight
just North
wins.
Shore. My apologies, Coach Salazar.
Semifinal game, because we were watching it here in the office when we were editing that.
Yeah.
Because I think we all picked Westlake. I picked Westlake to win that game because I picked Westlake to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think we picked Westlake because we were disgracing Touchdown Dave, which we should not have been doing.
Correct.
Sorry,
we all know,
Touchdown
yeah,
Dave.
we are our deepest, sincere apologies for the whole Dave Campbell
Yeah.
staff on that. Moving on, South Lake Carroll from 2004 to 2007 with 49 straight wins. If you look at this too, are you thinking what I'm gonna say? Todd Dodge, being the coach at
Twice.
South Lake Carroll during 2004 to 07, and then obviously there at Westlake from 2019 to 2021 before Salazar took over. So he's on this list twice.
Yeah, that's insane.
So stinking impressive.
I feel like he gets so much, and maybe that's just because we're around the North Texas community. I feel like he gets so much flack for taking the step up to North Texas and how poorly that went. And then it was like, oh yeah, well he has to go back down to high school, and people saw that as a downgrade. And it's like, all right, he just happens to completely rule Texas high school football at 2 different locations, for 6, 7, 8 different years.
That's
you
not
know?
a fluke, people. That's not a fluke.
He's a good coach.
Correct.
It just was not smart to make a high school head coach instantly a college head coach. You at least need to be a coordinator for a year.
Right. Up next, Abilene, 1954 to 1957. 49 straight wins. And then Lake Travis from 2007 to 2010, they had 48 straight wins. And then to finish off this list, we have Cuero from 1973 to 1975. 44 straight all-time consecutive wins. I guess that's how you say it. Fantastic mascot, by the way. I don't know if we've had Cuero on this list before, but I love that turkey. That's a mean-looking turkey.
The gobbler.
The gobbler. That's a mean-looking turkey. But there you go. The teams that know how to win. Now, there's a lot of teams that know how to win, but those guys know how to win consecutively.
I was gonna say, there's a difference between knowing how to win and knowing how to win
consecutively.
Yeah,
win.
Just consistently
Consistency is, we talk about it.
Whoop.
We talk about it all the time, but it's really, really impressive when you can win that much in a row, whether that be district games, regular season wins, all-time wins. I mean, win streaks, I feel like we just put so much weight on win streaks. I mean, we talk about them all the time, and we talk about how impressive they are, and then looking at this list, I mean, it just kind of solidifies it to us how impressive it really is when you dive deep into the numbers like
right,
that.
and that's exactly why, like, when we do our program rankings at the end of each year, why we put 6 years is our 6-year program ranking. So like we just did the 2016 ones, and it's because then you get turnover of classes. Like that's basically, if you're considering some of these schools only using junior and seniors, that's like 3 different levels of that. And that's what I love the most about high school football is the fact that, yes, obviously there are locations that you can live in that tend to produce higher quality athletes than others. There's different classifications, there's whatever. But it's the same thing of Alabama. You get good, you stay good.
Right.
Because you have the option to convince these 5-stars to go play for you. In high school, yes, there are always going to be schools that are very dominant, and you can say what you will about people transferring in and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But ultimately speaking, when you get down to some of these, like, lower levels and they're consistently good like that, like, it's impressive. It just is.
It is. It really is. I mean, and it was super fun to take a look at all these numbers. I mean, I'm still in shock about that Aledo district win streak, 111.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
still going, and we'll have our eye on it every
it's still
stretch
going.
of the
We'll
way.
probably talk about this next year. And
Oh,
it'll
100%,
still
because
be,
Burleson Centennial they graduated kind of heavy, I believe. So that'll be interesting to see. But if Denton Ryan has 2 back-to-back bad seasons under Dave
Which they
Hennigan, we're
probably
going to get
won't,
struck by
but-
lightning because it never happens.
Exactly.
Like, they'll
Exactly.
figure something out.
Yeah, they will. But there you go. Dubs are in their nature, as always. Took a look at the teams with the most consecutive wins in the Texas high school football record books.
Yeet.
We're Women Talking Football. We're here every Thursday at 2 p.m. talking football around the Lone Star State. But before we get to all of the cool Texan Live baseball games you can watch this weekend. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
All right, Pickle. There are several baseball teams.
Baseball!
You like baseball. I like baseball.
Yeah, we all like baseball.
There are several.
We hope you like baseball, because if you so, you should go to TexanLive.com.
Correct. Good plug.
Bing!
Good plug. There are several Texas high school baseball programs just anxiously waiting to punch their tickets to Austin, I believe. Do they play at McCombs Field in Austin? Wait, no, that's softball, right? I don't know what it's Round Rock.
Dell Diamond? Did they
Dell
play
Diamond
at Dell
and Round
Diamond?
Rock, I think so. Dell Diamond and
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I should know this.
that's all right. I think they all play at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. But they're just waiting to punch their ticket to the state championship game. And we've got a list for you on Texan Live that you can catch this week.
Oh, yeah, this is what I was thinking. They play at Dell Diamond and at Dish. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I know that there is something. Yeah, they have to split it.
Because I know all the softball is played at McCombs Field in Austin.
Yeah, so Wednesday, June 7th, Here, I'll turn this so you're not just awkwardly staring into the thing. Wednesday, June 7th, 1A and 2A semifinals are at Dell Diamond. The 4A semifinals are at Dish. Thursday, 1A, 2A, 5A, 1A, 2A championships at Dell Diamond,
Gotcha.
4A at Dish, and then semifinals for 5A at Dell Diamond, and then the rest are at Dell Diamond. So, the only people that play at Dish are 4A.
Oh,
Which
okay,
makes sense.
nice.
I've
That
gotten
does-
multiple emails about that, so
Yes.
I remember now.
That makes sense. So there you go. Let's take a look at all the games that you can catch on Texan Live this weekend, starting tonight.
Boom.
Taylor versus China Spring. Now, all of these games are happening tonight, and every single game except Taylor versus China Spring is game 1. Taylor versus China Spring, this is going to be game 2 tonight, starting at 4:30 p.m. in just 2 hours. If you're curious, Taylor shut out China Spring in game 1 of this series, 3-0. So,
China Spring just beat Carthage for the second year in a row to get to this point.
oh wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Gavin Moritz on the call for that
Yeah,
one.
Gavin Moritz on the call. Make sure to check that out at 4:30 today. Flower Mound versus Denton Geyer, game 1 at 7 p.m. tonight. Frisco Reedy versus Frisco Wakeland tonight at 7:30. That one also game 1. I've been helping coordinate that game, so definitely tune into that to see Josh Price on camera work. Leander Rouse versus Bernie Champion tonight at 7 p.m. game 1. Katy versus Parolin at 7 p.m. tonight as well. The rest of these are at 7 p.m. All of these are at 7 p.m. tonight. The rest of these in our game 1. Sinton versus Bernie. Lake Creek versus Magnolia West. San Antonio Johnson versus Austin Westlake. Harleton versus Douglas. And the Woodlands versus Side Woods. That should be a good one. Game 1 tonight, all at 7 p.m. Those are the games you can catch on Texan Live this week. Again, all of these except Taylor versus China Spring. This is game 1. So you can start tonight and not miss anything. Down there at the bottom left is a QR code. If you're not currently subscribed to Texan Live, we just made it easy for you. You can pull out your phone right now. You can scan that QR code and you can subscribe to Texan Live so you can keep up with all the cool baseball games that are going to be happening all throughout this weekend.
I was just looking at the 6A preseason top 20 according to TexasHighSchoolBaseball.com, and I believe the only 6A team on this list that was even in the top 20 in the preseason was Flower Mound.
Oh, wow.
They were ranked 3rd.
Flower Mound is really, really good at baseball.
Man, you want to start talking about the best district now? Okay, considering they're not playing. Well, and this being said too, these are just the games on Texan Live, so some of the other ones are still playing too. But like the best district, it's hard to argue against the Flower Mound district because Flower Mound Marcus was the 6A preseason top 21.
Hebron.
Flower Mound was 3. Coppell was 9.
Coppell.
Yeah,
Hebron's really good too.
I mean, a lot of DFW talent in this preseason. Plano was in there. Arlington Martin was in there.
That's right.
Coppell, Dallas Jesuit, South Lake Carroll, and then most of the rest of them were all Houston schools.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's nuts. DFW is just rigged with baseball talent. I mean, you can see there in Houston. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the Austin, Houston area. I think Texas as a whole, we don't talk about it enough. We talk about all the time, obviously, that Texas is just a hub for high school football players. But I would tend to argue that it's a hub for baseball players, too.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Sinton was ranked in the 4A top 20 in the preseason at number 10, which Sinton is historically a fantastic baseball program.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're really, really good. They had, I don't know if you'll remember it, but I think it was last year when they punched their ticket to state. They had a video that went super viral. I think we played it on TFT. It was awesome. Sinton is down in far South Texas, kind of more in like the Corpus Christi, South Texas, rather than like the RGV, South Texas. But there was a video of they were blasting some Hispanic, like Latin type music in the bus that they were all dancing to, and there was one white kid with a mullet that got up, and I mean he was belting the lyrics, and his teammates just loved it. Like, it went viral on Twitter. It was awesome. I will never forget that Step tagged me in it, and he was like, "This is pickle," and I was like,
yes.
Correct. That's why Tepper calls me Miss 915, Miss 956, Miss 305.
Yes.
So no, it was fantastic. But I always have enjoyed watching that Sinton program play. They're really something special.
And we have so many talented broadcasters all across the state of Texas that are going to be hopping on the call for these baseball games. So if you're just wanting to listen to some good, talented play-by-play and color guys, please subscribe to Texan Live and get your fix for baseball. And this is the time to do it too. I mean, this type of baseball is high intensity. There's gonna be a lot of emotion to it. You'll probably see some backflips because that's when I cut highlights a couple of years ago for Texan Live in baseball.
They run
games
out of the dugout.
There were a lot of backflips that I saw. A lot of fun celebrations. So if you're just into fun celebrations, subscribe to Texan Live and watch all your fun celebrations after these
and the other
baseball
thing
games.
I was gonna say, the other thing too is, one, if you haven't tested out Texan Live and you're really interested in it for football season, here's a great time to test it out. But the other thing is, I feel like so many people just associate what we do with football. I mean, this is Women Talking Football.
Right.
We're working here for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, so I get that, but Dave Campbell's Texan Live literally covers every single sport throughout the year. And with our new Dave Campbell's all-access subscription package, you can get everything Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So everything that you're used to getting, the online content, the premium podcast, 3 different magazines, which also includes a basketball magazine. But you get all of that on top of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, where you can watch any sport. So if you're really interested to see, and to be fair, that's all just $49 a year for a full year subscription. Like, we were in so many meetings about what we should price this, and I was like, we're just giving it away at this point.
Yeah,
but it's perfect because we want y'all to get invested in it.
Exactly.
So if you have a big-time football fan, but you're really curious what Dave Campbell's brings to the table other than just football, subscribe this weekend and figure it out, because it's awesome. These baseball games are high intensity. I mean, genuinely. This is the state semifinals, basically, of football.
Exactly.
Of what football usually is on Texan Live. So
exactly.
Test it out. It's a good time.
And Father's Day's coming up too.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to watch Texas high school baseball with their father on Father's Day. Early Father's Day gift.
Celebration.
TexanLive.com. Subscribe. /subscribe. Do we have that? TexanLive.com/subscribe. I know it's TexasFootball.com.
Yeah, now you can just go
I
to...
guess you can do that. TexasFootball.com.
But yes, TexanLive.com/
So subscribe. That's been a long
Just
week.
go to the subscribe thing and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Just subscribe. That's all we're asking you to do.
It's fantastic.
Put food on the table
It's
for us.
seriously a steal for $49.
It
Like
is.
I'm not saying. My father texted me after he saw the subscription. I need to go back and I'll update this next week. If we have a show, we won't. I'll be gone whenever we have a show again. He was like, "Holy crap, $49." I was like, "Yeah."
Exactly. It's a steal. Do it now. TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for maybe a couple weeks now. I don't know when we're going to be back. You're gone on vacation next week.
Yeah.
I'll be at a conference in New York the
Yeah,
following week. So, I don't know.
Stay tuned to our Twitter pages. There is a decent shot. I try to get an episode out with maybe a guest at some point the following week, which would be the 15th.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that I'll just do a podcast version type of thing at that point, but we will for sure be off next week.
Yes. I cannot do woman talking football.
Woman.
I need my other woman with me to do women talking
Correct.
football. So, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or I guess
Spotify!
wherever else you get your podcasts. I think that's going to do it for us. We will see you not this week, but next week. Maybe at 2 p.m. Maybe we won't go live. Maybe we will. I could probably still go live from New York.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Me from New York City. You from here?
Yeah.
Maybe from home?
Definitely from here.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.